Further Adventures of Hank the Cowdog, Chapter 5. Top Secret Material. Alright, I changed my mind. I might as well go on and tell you. I got whooped. There it is, right out in the open, and that's about the awfulest truth I can imagine. In this big land of ours, there's a certain number of dogs that get whooped every day. But for cow dogs and heads of ranch security, it ain't a common occurrence. In fact, some of us get whooped. It's not only unpleasant, it's unthinkable. I mean, you spend your life learning the security business. Tactics, strategy, you learn your eyes, your nose, your ears, how to use them, and you learn to cut for sign. You learn the difference between good, evil, and you devote your life to protecting the good. But everybody, it's hard to protect the good and combat evil when any old jake-legged mutt can come onto the ranch and give you a whooping. It sort of undermines your credibility. Maybe I shouldn't pass along any classified information. I mean, I'm telling this story, and I can tell it any way I choose, and I just might not choose to advertise the gloomy facts. What's to stop me from changing things around and saying that I whooped Rufus and ran him off the place with his tail between his legs? Well, in the first place, it's fairly common knowledge that Doberman pinschers don't have tails because they've been chopped off. Don't ask me why, it's not my department. All I can say is that some dogs get their tails chopped off. When that happens, it's not possible for them to get run off a ranch with their tail between their legs because they don't have a tail. Second place, if I change the story, it would be a big, nasty lie, and furthermore, I get the feeling that I'm just rambling on to avoid telling about the fight, which is still a very raw spot in my memory. Alright, so time to get serious. I advise you to sit down, take a deep breath, get a good hold on your chair, because what follows is liable to be the most electrifying, terrifying, scarifying, mortifying, disturbifying, and shockifying stuff you have ever read. One last word of warning. I suggest you lock the doors and windows, draw the blinds, and don't let kids read this. I don't want the children to know that I got whooped. Alright, enough said. Me and Rufus were squared off. You've seen Doberman pinschers up close, and you know how ugly they are. Sharp, pointed ears, big teeth, nasty little eyes. Reminds you of something from a nightmare. That's what I was looking at. Some people claim that a cowdog never knows fear, but I've got to dispute that. There for a second I felt a little stab of fear. I did. Because I wasn't facing just one Doberman. I was facing two, remember? Double vision. Up in the pickup, Beulah was saying, "No, Hank, don't do it. Run. He'll tear you apart. He'll kill you." Rufus glared at me and grinned. "You ready?" I swallowed. "Ready as I'll ever be." "You sure you want to get mauled in front of her? We could go down to the bushes and do it." "Suit yourself, Rufus," he shrugged. "Well, you had your chance." I sprang into action, made a dive for the image on the left, and as you know, I missed. I got nothing but air. Rufus caught me on the fly. He put a deadly clamp on my neck. I tried to whirl around and get one of his ears, but it was already too late. Once you get in the grip of a Doberman, you don't break out very easy. That's where the name of the breed comes from, don't you see? They definitely pinch. Well, once he had me in that deadly grip, he pressed his advantage. He threw me to the ground, I leaped in the air, and we went around and around, but I just couldn't get out of his jaws. Up in the pickup, Beulah was almost hysterical. "Rufus, stop. Oh, please stop. Drover, do something." Drover found himself a nice quiet spot inside the feed barn, but when she called, he poked his head out and yipped. I think you could say that Rufus wasn't worried. So he snarled and growled and snapped and tore up a large area of ground, but I just couldn't get out of his pinchers. Then Rufus put me on the ground again. I was completely wore out from the struggle. I didn't have anything left. Rufus had his little eyes right down in my face. "Say calf rope." "Oh, forget it." "Say that Beulah's ugly." "No." "Say that you're yellow." "No." Beulah jumped out of the pickup. "Leave him alone, you villain. Let him go." He turned his head and showed her some fangs. "Hank, run for your life." "Don't be proud. Run." "Cowdogs don't run, Beulah. We fight to the death." Rufus took a step toward me. That's the spirit. I hate to kill a cowdog against his will. He crept toward me, all bunched up in his shoulders and his teeth gleaming in the sun. He had a face. A mean face. Made a guy think he enjoyed the stuff. Well, I was still seeing double. Last time I made a dive for the image on the left, so this time I went for the one on the right. It was wrong, too. Don't know how to explain that. I dove at him and missed. He made a slash at my throat, but got me by the scruff of the neck. Instead, I twisted around and managed to get one of his ears. I didn't tear it off, but I put a wrinkle in it. Drover came from the feed barn, tearing around us, yipping as loud as he could. "Get him, Drover," I yelled. "This is the fight you've been saving up for, son." He made a dive at Rufus, and nipped him on the rump. Rufus whirled around and showed him a mouthful of teeth which just about caused the little mutt to turn inside out. He screeched and headed for the feed barn again. I piled onto Rufus. I thought I was getting the upper hand when he put a judo move on me, threw me to the ground, and landed on top of me. I knew I was finished. We'll find out what happens in the second part of this chapter.